Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Today is June the 20th of 2024. My name is Melvin Coleman. I'm the president of the Atlanta Black Chambers, and I had to be here today because I'm really excited. We've brought forth a topic that I know moves the crowd, so I see y'all coming in for this one. So great job. Shout out to the Training and Professional Development Committee of the Atlanta Black Chambers. And these virtual sessions allow us to do something very important, which is to showcase our members. And so the individuals that you see presenting and facilitating when you attend these virtual sessions, those are indeed members of the Atlanta Black Chambers. And now I'd like to turn it over to the chair of the Training and Professional Development Committee. He's doing a great job providing these great topics and showcasing our members, giving them the stage. So Jarvis Gray, brother, I am going to step aside and turn it over to you. I'm going to fade into the background. And shout out to all of you who attend Tuesday Talks. Y'all know that's my show, okay? Other than that, I let my people do their thing. All right, brother, all right. You got it.
All right, Melvin, I appreciate it. Good morning and welcome, ABC family. Really excited about our event today. And before I kick us off, first, let me give a huge shout out to our Training and Professional Development Committee members. I see a number of folks on the live session with us right now. So just continue to be inspired by all the good ideas and the great topics that we're pulling together with their support. So just a heads up. So our very next event, we're still getting some organizational around, but I want to give you all the heads up. It's going to be an in-person event. So just a chance for us to meet in person, collaborate face-to-face, and really network and continue to move our businesses forward. So please keep an eye out for that. But for today, let me quickly introduce our speakers, and then we're just going to jump into it because I want you all to get extreme value out of this. This is a topic we've heard about for at least a year. So finally finding experts to come and collaborate with us. This is an exciting time. First up, everyone, I want to quickly welcome and excuse one of our speakers. Unfortunately, she has a conflict and needed to be in Chicago with some of her clients. But our first speaker, Bret Townsend, she is the chief strategist of SavvyPro Freelance, and she works with her clients with strategic consulting services centered around branding, marketing, and so much more. She's a newer or oncoming member into the ABC family. She's been doing an amazing job getting out and networking with some of the recent networking events. So please keep an eye out for her. Been really impressed with the conversations I've had with this expert. So please take the opportunity to meet her. But importantly, for today, we still have an amazing speaker that's going to lead us through some pieces around LinkedIn. I'm going to talk a little bit about Alignable, and we're going to connect the dots. But I'd love to quickly introduce Kirstyn Allen. So she is the CEO of the K. Allen Agency. Kirstyn is an expert coach and consultant working with business leaders and corporations to create visibility in the marketplace and ultimately help them to better attract their dream clients. So Kirstyn, anything you want to say or introduce yourself around before we get into it?
Yes, absolutely. Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great Thursday so far. I'm so excited to be here with you. Thank you for the amazing introduction, Jarvis, and for the space, Melvin. I'm excited to talk through all things LinkedIn. So I'm looking forward to this being an amazing and engaging session. Blow up the chat, keep your questions in mind so that we can get to those as well. But I'm super excited to spend this time with you guys. So thank you.
All right, Kirstyn, thank you so much again, guys. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to share my screen and walk us through some highlights around all things Alignable. To Kirstyn's point, I want to encourage you all, whatever thoughts or questions you may have about LinkedIn, about Alignable, please go ahead and get those ready, get them prepared. And if you're at your computer and you're able to do so, go ahead and log into your LinkedIn account or log into your Alignable account. We're going to leave plenty of time on the back half of our call today. So if you all have questions, answers you want us to look up, your profiles. Like, we are literally going to create a hot seat opportunity. So if anybody wants us to pull up their profile here and offer some quick consultations, just want you all to be prepared. But let me share my screen and we're going to get into it. All right, so hopefully everybody's seeing my screen, and please let me know if not. I want to quickly, again, go through some of the basic things around Alignable. And if you're like me, I want to just highlight first why this is important, because as small business owners, as small business leaders, whether you are working in your own business or you're working within a larger team and corporation, the number one ways to grow your business right now, or to help your company grow its business without paid advertisement, of course, is going to be through social media. The two sites that we're going to be talking about today are hands down, there's no other competition really. LinkedIn is number one, but Alignable it's a growing platform that I think is really worth the time for everybody to understand and to figure out if it's going to be a right platform to leverage for the work you're doing. But when it comes to these top growth strategies, I mean, content marketing, messaging, email strategies, referrals, recommendations, networking, and even event marketing, those would be some things I want to highlight for the Alignable side. And it's going to go without saying that there may be some crossover, obviously, between some of the Alignable strategies and the LinkedIn strategies. That's why we thought it was smart to just put them all together. So be prepared. Really quick, let me engage you all in the chat. So I'm sure most of our folks here are based around Atlanta, but if you could drop it in the chat, maybe what part of Atlanta you're in. Because at least for my Atlanta crowd, I'm going to show you why Alignable is really a good place to be right now. And then drop some information in the chat. Why did you even join Alignable? Or why did you join LinkedIn, or the two together? What's your purpose? What's your goal with plugging into any of these platforms? So let me pull up my chat. All right, so I got Tommy over in Marietta, Fonda over in Beaufort. Good morning, Janet. James in College Park, Sharonda and Warner Robins, Ellenwood, Noonan. So we got a good mix of Atlanta communities. I'm going to show you all very quickly why this is a really great place for our Atlanta folks. I got Daryl, he is over in Smyrna. Y. Scott in Brookhaven, perfect. So why are we on this site? Professional networking, perfect reason to be on these sites. Networking, growing your business, free marketing. Patricia, I'm right there with you, free marketing. So again, you guys keep pumping the feedback and comments into the chat here. Again, all of the reasons that I'm seeing so far are exactly why you need to know about these sites. Hopefully most everybody knows me, Jarvis. I'm the chair for the TPD committee. Please reach out anytime if I can do anything for you, or if you got ideas around future events that you would like to see us organize for the chamber. Let's get into this. So what is Alignable? For me, I've been on Alignable now going on 2 years, very, very proactively, very strategically, right? So really trying to understand how and why this is important for me to understand, to leverage for the success of my business. But if you're like me, you probably think Alignable is kind of like LinkedIn's little cousin. And that was the way I treated it when I first found out about it. I think I had my Alignable account at least a full year before I decided to invest time into it and really understand what it was all about. I would say at this point, everybody, it's not LinkedIn. It has components that makes it feel like a LinkedIn, but I will say it's actually a much more engaging platform even than the great LinkedIn. So that's why we wanted to at least start with this, because if you're not familiar about it, I want to encourage you all to check it out. I'm going to give you a couple of links to allow you to plug in with a few communities that I've already launched for our Atlanta metro area. So let's keep going. A few reasons why I think it's important for small business owners, especially if you have a business to business, business model. It definitely works for a B2C model. It can work, especially even for a business to government, B2G model. But hands down, if you are B2B, then this is the place to be. We're going to coin that. If you got a B2B, this is the place to be for Alignable specifically, because chances are, based on the feedback that I'm seeing even in the chat already, you're focused on trying to get referrals for your business, visibility, build really good, authentic relationships. You want to promote your business, the free marketing, connect with peers, and you can even get a tremendous amount of free advice and expert advice from the mix of talent and experts already hanging out on that platform. So let's say you heard me talk about Alignable today. You're like, okay, perfect. Let me go check it out. Or if you've already got an account, you just haven't done anything with it. This is the starting point, right? So you're on Alignable. Now what? The first thing I want to encourage you to do is go ahead and build out your platform in really good detail. And I'll pull up my Alignable page and kind of touch on these in a little bit more detail really quickly, but build out your platform. If you are currently on the free version of Alignable, then you're limited to 10 connections per month. So my advice is to make sure you leverage those 10 connections every single month. Now, you can obviously pay for the premium, and there's some pros that definitely come with it. And I can speak to those if you have questions. And my big disclaimer is I'm not here to sell Alignable. I don't do business with Alignable, but again, this is how I leverage this platform for a lot of the work that I do in my coaching business. So build your profile, leverage the free connections you have every month. So if it's the free version, it's 10, and then begin introducing yourself. And the way you introduce yourself on the platform is to join groups and to join any mix of the networking events that are going on. And this is where I think the platform is really doing a much, much better job than LinkedIn, is that almost every hour of the business day, there is a networking event going on, mostly online, but there are in-person events as well. And I'll kind of quickly highlight that. When you're ready to step up to the plate, find some opportunities to begin hosting events. So then you can do exactly kind of like what we're doing right now, right? So we're presenting information, we're taking an expert position, but if you are a B2B business, having an expert positioning or an authority positioning is exactly what you want to achieve. And the Alignable platform is a great place to start to create an expert positioning for yourself and for your business. Last but not least is going to be the process on how we get referrals and recommendations. So having people create the introductions into other folks that will be your ideal business, business clients. That's exactly what we want. So that's my really quick overview on Alignable. Give me a moment while I pull up my Alignable page. And again, I just want to highlight some of the quick takeaways that I just went through. But please feel free if you have any thoughts or questions. You're welcome to raise a hand now if you have some quick ones while I transition my screen over really quickly, y'all.
There was one question in the chat from Patricia. She says, how much time should you dedicate to this?
So that's a tricky question, Patricia. Kind of like anything, right? If the more time you invest, probably the more rewards you're going to get out of it. For me personally, what I like to do, kind of the process that I put in place, is that I like to give it about 30 minutes per day. And what I like to use that time for is just to peruse, kind of peruse the site, see what types of businesses and business owners are out there that I may want to connect with. And then I drop messages or, kind of like people's posts, that kind of stuff, engage with people's information. That's kind of my normal everyday, about 30 minutes per day when I'm eating lunch or dinner or what have you. But then I do try to plug in with 2 networking events every single week. So again, this is one of those platforms, there's always an event going on, and I'll highlight that in a second here. The more you network on this platform, the more the people in this platform will begin that know, like, and trust building process with you. And they're going to want to connect further. Legitimately, I've made some really good friends, some really good colleagues and partners, and I've gotten quite a few clients and customers out of this. So that part of the question, Patricia, is kind of, I could go back and forth, but I like to give about 2 events per month, or excuse me, per week is kind of my target. And please let me know, let me kind of go through this because I want to give Kirstyn plenty of time, because LinkedIn, I will say, is even more robust than our Alignable platform. And then we're going to have a huge Q&A session for everyone. Let me ask, are you all seeing my screen here again? Did I push the right button? Perfect, thank you. So guys, when you log into Alignable for the first time, you come to your home page. Let me go to my profile page really quickly. And this is what I mean when I say, like, really build out your profile page. Similar to a LinkedIn, you have space back here for the banner. I want you all to go to Canva or whatever site you can use to design something and put some great information about your business. But this is my big takeaway right out the gate, is make it easy for people to find you, right? As a business owner, I want you to have everything just short of my social security number if you think we can do business together, right? So I provide my websites, I provide UR codes. Even down here in my descriptions, I have great information about the work that I'm doing and who I want to connect with, but I'm giving my business phone number, email address, etc. So as you all build out your profiles on this platform, be sure to just make it easy for people to connect with you. You're going to see here that you can easily get recommendations. You can give recommendations and referrals back and forth. So again, I've been on this for some time now, so I've built up a good status with my recommendations. You can promote events. So again, I talked about event marketing being a great opportunity for many folks. Well, guess what? We're here now talking about an event, and I'm promoting it through my platform. And then even giving recommendations. I will say this is even more important than just getting them. Make sure you're connecting and networking with intention, because you're going to build up a great rapport. So step 1, build your profile. Step 2, begin connecting into groups and introducing yourself. So within the groups tab, you can discover groups, and just based on your business model, when I say there's quite literally a group for everything on the Alignable platform. And if for some reason, somehow, like if you wanted to connect with natural healers in the Southeast, I'm making stuff up, right? If that group doesn't already exist, there's a process that you can go through to go ahead and create a group. So again, there's a lot of different examples for things. I'm going to drop some links in the chat in just a moment. But what I want to share is that I currently manage 3 groups here on the platform. So the Black Entrepreneurs Group, the Black Business Owners Group, and an Atlanta-based group. So right now we have almost 800 businesses even connected into this group. Once you all connect into a group that you choose to be a part of, and I would love for you all to join to be a part of this, where we're keeping a lot of activities going, I would encourage you to then go to the directory, see who the leaders of the group are, and then connect with those people as well. And just introduce yourself. Hey, Jarvis, I saw your presentation on the ABC workshop, and would love to join your group and have a connection. And that's how you start to build the opportunities for the leaders in the group to promote your business within the group. For me personally, I love promoting the group members. So there's Jennifer J. I think she's on the call somewhere today, right? So if you have events, if you have products, services, whatever it is that you want to leverage in your business, here's a free breakfast event and workshop that I'm hosting next week, right? We're always trying to put extra information out there. But again, this is why Alignable can be so relevant to your business model, because I'm based in Atlanta. You know, I can't promote things to San Diego, but for my communities based around me, this becomes an amazing opportunity to build a local authority, to do business, to collaborate, to network, and so forth. So I think those were some of my quick takeaways. And I'm going to stop talking just so I can pass the mic over. I know we're going to get into some amazing LinkedIn strategies, but again, let me tee you all up. Please, questions, thoughts, be prepared for a hot seat if you're ready for that. But let me pass the mic to my partner, Kirstyn, today, and then we're going to come back for some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jarvis. That was amazing. Great things on Alignable. So I hope you guys took away a lot of great tactics and strategies that you can use to be successful there. So I am pulling up my slides here, and then we will jump right into LinkedIn. All right, it's already on this slide. Let's go to the top and present. All right, so as I know a few people jumped on, so I'll just do a quick introduction really quickly, and then we will jump in. So my name is Kirstyn Allen. I am a member of the Atlanta Black Chambers and super excited to talk with you guys more about LinkedIn. So I've been on LinkedIn for several years at this point, as most of us have started on it as an employee, just looking to connect with other people inside of our corporations or in the business realm as an employee. And then as I've become an entrepreneur, I have learned strategies on how to use it to do business with corporations and individuals, and have developed a framework and process that I use with my clients who are looking to do more business with corporations. And I've been able to break this down into 3 easy steps that I'll be showing you all today. So while I could geek out on this and talk about it forever, I am going to give you the simplified steps to how you can really start to generate some quality leads on the platform. And you'll see some mirroring between what Jarvis shared around best practices, how to set up your profile and things of that nature, because a lot of that is also going to be reflected in LinkedIn. But I'll say the difference may be in terms of posting content and establishing your thought leadership, so that as individuals are looking to hire someone who does the amazing work that you all do today, they'll be able to find you and instantly know that you're the best person for the job. All right, so great to see you all today. I did want to do a quick shout out. I see a few people from my community that joined today. So shout out to you guys, and thank you all for attending today in this session. So I do like to start with a little bit of statistics. Again, kind of a nerd, a self-proclaimed, but I want you guys to see how important this platform is beyond just, hey, I used it when I was, employed at a corporation, but I really don't know how to incorporate it in business. And so here are some of the things, the statistics that I was able to find. And of course, you can check out some more as well. But thinking about, this is the largest professional network platform. This is where people go when they're looking to do business, whether inside a corporate or even as an entrepreneur. And the fact that LinkedIn is investing in some of these creator features that allow influencers and entrepreneurs like us to be able to share stories, establish thought leadership. They're promoting the longevity of content. So while we may do business on social media or market on social media, a lot of times our content has what I would call a shorter shelf life on our platforms like Facebook and Instagram and things of that nature. But when you produce content on LinkedIn, believe it or not, these things are indexing on Google. So if you do an article on LinkedIn, for example, you're going to get some long-term SEO out of that, because Google is going to be pointing people to these articles that you post as people are going and typing in keywords. So it's really a powerful platform as not necessarily being a content creator for LinkedIn, but really using it as a business owner to establish and demonstrate your expertise. All right, so there are 3 pieces. I promised you 3 steps. So these are the 3 steps that we're going to cover in my time today. We're going to talk about optimizing your profile, and I'm going to go over that pretty briefly, because I think Jarvis set the tone as far as creating an engaging profile, things that you want to highlight and things of that nature. So I'll share some LinkedIn nuances. And then in the second step, we're going to talk about creating engaging content, which I feel is so important, especially if you're wanting to really prime people to be ready to work with you, right? You don't want to get on a phone call with someone and got to explain all of your expertise and what it is that you do and how you're good at doing it. you can actually use some of this content to do some of the pre-selling for you, which I feel is a great value add to producing engaging content on the platform. And then finally, I'm going to go through the process of how you can not only use it as a place to create a presence, but you can also use it to begin some of these valuable conversations that are going to translate for me and the clients that I work with doing business with corporations, universities, as well as nonprofits. But even if you are someone who does work in the B2C space, this is still a great opportunity for you to begin to connect with people that are ready to move and again, are active on the platform. All right, so let's talk about optimizing your profile. So again, as I mentioned, what Jarvis said around creating a profile that has everything that a person needs to know about your business, how to contact you, having a nice banner, which I kind of play around with the banners on LinkedIn. So sometimes I may have something like this that's more of like a marketing billboard and has that very powerful statement, but you can also play around with different backgrounds that are like photos or, of you speaking. I've had, because of my work, my line of work that I do, I have like pictures of me on stage and things of that nature that can also speak volumes to the work that I do as well. So headline is something that you can play around with, but I definitely would suggest, having something very clean. Don't leave it as that little gray placeholder that's up there. Have it be something that lets people know how to work with you, what you do, or again, is a demonstration of your thought leadership and your expertise. The other thing to keep in mind with LinkedIn, especially because it's such a good search engine, is that you want to make sure that you have keywords all over your profile. This is important because especially when people go and look for a certain service provider, they're going to go in and type, for me, leadership coach, B2B consultant, whatever that may look like for your particular business. You want to think about what are the keywords that your ideal client is typically going to be searching when they're looking for someone to provide a service that you do. And when you have those keywords in mind, you want to make sure that those are all over your profile, whether it be your headline, which is super important, in your about section, or even in your experience section. Now, here's a little hack that I would love for you guys to do with your headline that's going to help you be found. So I like to start off my little headline formula with, a very powerful statement about what it is that I do, not necessarily just my technical work, like, oh, I'm a leadership consultant, I'm a leadership coach for corporations, but really speaking to what is the power that I create, what is my unique value that I add to the corporations that I work with, or with the individual entrepreneurs that I work with. So a powerful statement is there. And then the hack that I want to suggest for you guys to do is put in those keywords with the bracket, or it's not really a bracket, but the line break that is here for each keyword that aligns with the services that you provide. And again, is a keyword that your ideal client would be searching. This helps you become more findable on the platform by those keywords. And it creates, again, that little bit of that SEO type of functionality within the platform and makes your profile stand out in terms of searchability. I would say this has worked for me very well in conjunction with something else that I'll share with you once we get further down. But this works very well. When I reached out to individuals that have worked with me or found me from LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, well, how did you find out about me? Well, I did a search and you are one of the first ones that came up in this particular area. So the keywords are super, super important. It's valuable and it helps people to be able to find you. The other thing that you want to keep in mind on your profile is having some way for people to take the next step. So we've all heard about marketing funnels, which can be very complicated and sometimes require this tech, but really what a marketing funnel is at the basic core of it is taking people through a journey of knowing nothing about you to being enrolled into your services. And so with that definition in mind, your LinkedIn profile can be the same exact thing. How do you take people from they land on your profile, they get introduced to you, they learn a little bit more about what you do, but then what happens? Where do they go from there? So having some type of next step, whether that be your website, booking a call with you, or going straight to a sales page or whatever that looks like as the next step in your funnel, you want to make sure that's very clear on your page in multiple sections, not just the headline, but also in your experience section. And even in your about section, wherever people land, you want them to be able to go to that next step, because the idea is let's get the conversation off LinkedIn as quickly as possible. It's not like some of our other platforms where people are on all day scrolling, laughing at memes, all the things. And so when they're on there, we want to make sure that we capture them, but also move them to the next step in our process. All right, so that is the profile. So now let's talk about engaging content really quickly. And so some people, a question that I get a lot of times is, what do I post? What do I talk about? LinkedIn seems a little stuffy. I don't know if I can be myself. And if that's you, go ahead and put a message in the chat so no one knows that they're alone, that they feel like LinkedIn is not the place where they can be themselves on social media like some of our other favorite platforms. And what I want to let you know is that on LinkedIn, your personal story, your challenges, your breakthroughs are some of the best pieces of content that you can talk about and post and be able to connect it in a way to your expertise. Why you do what you do, how this has influenced how you show up in the work that you do every day. Again, creating that connection, but also that piece of thought leadership and allowing people to see that you're not just, a fly-by-night person that just decided to put a site up today and now open for business, but you've actually had years and decades of experiences that have led you uniquely to be able to do the work that you need to do, that you desire to do. So that personal stories do work well. What I would say is just always tie it to your thought leadership. Always make sure that it's elevating you as an expert. Whatever your stories are, whatever challenges or things that you went through, how can you tie that into uplifting you as the thought leader and the expert in your industry? Oftentimes our failures are typically our greatest teachers. It's about how we tell the story and make sure that it connects with those who are reading. All right. And then also outside of that content, I would suggest at least once a week posting some really good thought leadership content. I recommend my clients to do like an article or newsletter, which is a piece of content that you can be able to leverage on LinkedIn. But even if you don't go that far, even if you just do a post, make sure that it's something related to what's going on in the heads of your ideal clients. Like I mentioned, most of the work that I do is helping people in terms of working in the B2B world, which we do in my company as well. And so my content is going to be about why it's important for companies to essentially get my services and work with me in order to retain more employees, generate more sales, all of those things. So you want to sit back and think for you, whether that is corporations that you're working with or individuals, what do my people need to hear this week in order to move forward in the services that I provide? And the content should be in a way of teaching them that, not necessarily going in and telling them all your secret sauce and your frameworks and your processes, but what can at least illuminate the problem that they may have and show you as the solution to that problem. And so another thing that I suggested here that you can also do as you're starting to think about what type of content that looks like is poll your audience. You can literally do a poll directly in LinkedIn and ask what type of content individuals may enjoy based on, again, the topics and things that you start to talk about. So I know someone asked, how much time to really engage with this. So I'll answer that for LinkedIn as well. I do agree with the 30 minutes, that you'll do to engage. But also think about taking some time whenever you develop content. I'm sure most of us have a social media marketing strategy arm of our overall marketing strategy. And think about what type of content you can repurpose, what type of content you want to post to at least do, again, that one good piece per week on LinkedIn and be able to publish that. Another thing about content that I'll share is that, again, like I mentioned with the Google stuff and that things index over on Google, you can also be able to develop a piece of content on LinkedIn and literally see it still being pushed for days and weeks on. So I don't know how much you all are into, again, the social media platforms and thinking about how things and content last. But LinkedIn is definitely one of those where if I post something today, I could still be getting people engaging with it 2 weeks later. It doesn't die. So that's why I also suggest with clients and let them know, like, you don't have to be here every hour on the hour, or even every day to still have a good presence, to still have content that's going to be shown to the audience and those that you're connecting with. And so with that in mind, I want you to also think about the different types of content that you can post. So obviously we all know about our text and photo posts that we can do. LinkedIn Live is another way. So we do Facebook Lives. you can actually use platforms like StreamYard to be able to go live in multiple places. I have a weekly live series that I do every Wednesday at 4 p.m. and I stream into all of my platforms. And again, that's a piece of content that lasts on LinkedIn that I can also pin to my profile. So as people go in and they're learning more about me, they can also engage in really good content that I create every week. You can obviously post video. And from what I'm hearing, LinkedIn is looking at how to get into short form, like some of our other platforms. So that should be to come, and maybe even some type of stories for LinkedIn. So that'll be an interesting addition to be able to get into. But LinkedIn audio is one of my favorite features. If you're not using LinkedIn audio, go schedule one and do one as soon as possible. I love it because one, we don't have to show up and, be camera ready, but you can literally get on, and it's similar to like a live podcast, I would say. And it's a really good opportunity for you to be able, for people to be able to hear your voice, for you to showcase your expertise. Very easy to set up. You just invite people log in, and you can just run it just as you would. If y'all remember Clubhouse in 2020, LinkedIn audio is very similar for the professional audience. And I just love how easy it is to set up and be able to connect with people there. So definitely a hidden feature that I would consider being a part of some of them, first of all, just so you can see how it flows, and then deciding if you want to set up your own and use that as a content type on the platform. And then obviously you have events. And then I talked about articles that you can also leverage on the platform and create. If you're a writer and that's how you like to market and share what it is that you have to do, that you provide, and your audience are readers, then you may want to consider, taking a blog, like if you do blog content, repurposing that over to a LinkedIn article. And the cool thing about the articles is that as people connect with you, they can subscribe to your articles. And when you have new editions of it go out, it goes directly to the emails of the individuals who are subscribed. So LinkedIn looks out for us in some ways. If people aren't logged on to the platform, they'll get emailed your article and be able to read it right there in their inbox and take any actions from there, or go into the platform and be able to look at it further. So many underutilized features that can be a part of, again, that overall marketing funnel that you'll take people through, and using this platform that already has so many individuals in the professional network to do so. All right, and then the last phase that we'll talk about is the generating leads portion. So 2 ways that you can look at this. One thing that I truly love about the platform is not only the fact that you can connect with people, and that obviously you can begin to build those relationships, which is super important, especially in my line of work. However, you can also use this as a great research tool on individuals that you want to begin to connect with. So there's 2 ways that you can handle the lead generation part. It's either the inbound or the outbound lead generation. So we talked about the inbound piece because that's the content, that's creating the profile, that's, using those keywords so people can engage with you. However, that wouldn't be the only thing that I do on LinkedIn. I would also use it to gather information and intel on those who I'm looking to connect with. So if it's corporations, there's so much information. If you've heard about LinkedIn Sales Navigator, I was a trainer on that platform, so I'm very familiar with how to use that in order to engage with corporations. But even if you don't have Sales Navigator or even Premium, some people ask me about whether it's worth it to get that as well. You can use the basic level of LinkedIn and be able to get some real insights about the people that you want to work with, especially in corporations. You can understand who's making the decisions, more about their role, other colleagues that might be connected to them on their teams, if they're going to events, if you're looking for sponsorships, that's another thing that's a good opportunity to use LinkedIn for. See who they're already sponsoring and events that they're going to, and use that to, again, build the strategy around how you will engage those individuals moving forward. So a couple of ways to think about it. Use it as a way to connect, but also use it as a repository or a resource that can help develop and inform your outreach strategy. All right, so we're going to get to the end here because I want to give time to at least get to 1 or 2 of you to do some hot seats in the questions. But the final tips that I want to say in terms of your outreach and, building that lead generation is that as you start to reach out to people, be prepared for folks to respond and have a solid ask that you're going to put out to them. So Oftentimes, we don't want to jump right into buy my thing. That's typically not the way that you want to build relationships, especially if you're moving into the corporate space. You really want to begin this as a relationship starter. So whether you have a free gift that you want to offer, or a tip, or something that you're seeing in the industry, demonstrating your thought leadership and your expertise, have those things ready to go. And then also have a follow-up plan. Why I mentioned being able to take people off of LinkedIn as fast as possible, whether that is an email or a phone call, is because, again, people aren't going to always be on the platform hanging out, waiting for your message. And so having a plan to follow up, having a plan to move people forward into the next step in your process is going to help you be more successful in this whole arena. All right, so we're going to get to the Q&A, but I did want to give you guys a chance. I saw a few people dropping in their LinkedIn profiles, and I think Alignable as well. Definitely do that. And I want to give you guys a chance to connect with me as well. And I'll make sure that I put that into the chat. So I'm hold this up for a second, and then let's go ahead and transition to our Q&A.
All right, and Kirstyn, while you were talking, you had 2 questions come through the chat. I caught those, so I'd love to start with those.
Okay.
And just, I guess, before I even share that now, I will say, and you kind of touched on it a little bit with the LinkedIn side, and this definitely holds true for the Alignable side of things, everyone. But when you go through your messaging strategy, what I usually tell most of my clients is to go ahead and have like 3 standard messages, just so, you know, you have clarity with your messaging strategy. But we probably should have included like a don't do this slide in this conversation. But my biggest like no, whether it's on LinkedIn or Alignable, don't be a weirdo, right? We get a lot of weird sales tactics and weird messages, and it's such a turnoff when you all are going through your strategy to connect with people, to message people, to, you know, hopefully network, set up a one-on-one call. The way that I honestly say to approach it is just like you're trying to court them into a real relationship, right? You don't walk up to a person and say, hey, let's get married on day 1, right? You build the relationship, just like you're, you know, eventually, hey, how you doing? Can I take you out to coffee? Can I take you on a date, right? It's the same process. We're just doing it as professionals. Hopefully, all of us, please keep it professional. So I just wanted to touch on that really quickly. Jasper said, don't be a weirdo. Outside of that, guys, I hope this was valuable. Kirstyn, the first question that came through the chat for you is from Janet. She wants to know, do you suggest the same setup for personal and professional profiles?
Yes. So, well, let me ask this. In terms of professional, do you mean like a business page versus a personal page? Because on LinkedIn, it's really one profile that you have that's, you know, strictly your professional profile.
All right, Ms. Janet, can you jump on there and add some more clarity?
Hi, good afternoon, kings and queens. Hope you all had an awesome Juneteenth. So my question is, yes, so you know how you have your one personal profile, but you can tag your business page under it. Would you suggest that heading being on the personal, or do one for the personal and still do one for the business at the same time, have that same heading with the dashes, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, so the business one is going to be a little bit different. I would definitely, what I suggested works best with the actual profile. With your business page, you can do a similar thing. However, I would, with the header that I mentioned, you definitely want to do that and have it related to your business. So one thing I didn't get a chance to go into, but I'm glad you brought this up, is that your personal profile really should be a representation of, you know, you as a person, like all the work that you do. Yes, you have a business, but there are other things that you're involved in as well. So this is your personal professional brand. And then the business page is strictly focused on the business. So the header would be like, you know, the background, whatever you would use for your business, everything would be talking about that. And essentially you would link the two. So in your experience section, you would have, you know, CEO and founder of your business, and then they would click and be able to go over to your business page. So you definitely want to have both of those presences there, but just always think of your LinkedIn as it's not just what I do for work. This is my overall personal brand. So if you volunteer or, you've done these different things, all of that would be things you want to include on your profile to maximize it the most.
Great, perfect. And the second question here comes from Donica, and she says, are there features that require metrics like a qualified number of followers?
Yes. So the live feature, I believe, requires like 100 connections to be able to access that. And then also, thank you for asking that question, because you also want to look at switching your profile over to the creator version. It's super simple. It's not you having to upgrade or, be premium. But if you switch your profile over to creator, which is just literally a click of a button, you'll get access to those LinkedIn audio features that I mentioned and the ability to go live. But yes, you do need to have, I believe, 100 connections. And guess what? It's 93 people here on this platform. So if you don't already have your 100 connections, go and connect with some people that have already dropped their link in the chat.
Yeah, for real. I'm over here connected with a whole lot of people, so y'all better accept my connection request. All right.
Yes, I'd love to drop by too.
Guys, let's go ahead. Would love to get any more questions, but let me ask, would there be a volunteer in the audience that we can check out your LinkedIn page, that we can offer any insight, on how to beef it up or make it more attractive for your target audience, your target clients?
Yeah, you can look at mine.
Yes, I love it.
All right, I heard the voice. I didn't see who said it.
Valencia. All
right.
right, Nick. Let's see. I'll stop my video.
All right, Valencia, can you drop your link in the chat just so we can pull it up super quick?
So I'm not sure how to do that.
Oh.
So go
right.
to what?
All right, hold on.
Go to LinkedIn.
All right, is it under Valencia Thornton?
Thornton. Mm-hmm. And then you can pull it up.
All right, let me see if I can find you really quickly. All right, here it is. And let me share my screen, everyone.
That's me.
Here it comes. All right, right here.
Yes, that's it.
All right, so let me turn it over to the expert. Kirstyn, any thoughts?
Please do.
Yes, absolutely. First of all, you've already won because you don't have that gray background picture there that most people have, and you have a nice headline, a nice photo there. So I think you've done very well with that. And so what I would do with your headline, which I'm sure you probably already took some notes on this, is look at, creating that statement. We have a list of the things that you do, which are good for the keywords, but what is it? What's the impact that you create for those who you work with? I would add that there as a unique differentiator that people can connect with. And then I would separate out those individual titles with the line breaks that I mentioned. And I don't know where it is on a Windows computer, but it is like right above the return key on a Mac. So that little line slash is really important. It helps be able to separate out those keywords as people are searching for you.
Okay.
So let's scroll down. Okay. So the next part, we didn't get a chance to, and actually Jarvis did share this, which is why I didn't go into this too in detail, but beefing up your about section is going to be super important. Adding in, what it is that you do in detail, give us a little synopsis, even if it's some bullet points, those who you serve, any amazing highlights that have been a result of the work that you've done, and then also adding in a way that people can take that next step. So again, thinking about it like a funnel, they're here.
Right.
What do we want them to be able to do next? And so having that feature here in your about section is going to be really helpful. And also above, you can also link out to your website as well. I think I mentioned that. So just having that next step and giving people more content around who it is that you serve, what you do, the highlights of it, and saying, if this is something that you're interested in moving forward with, here's how you can connect with me.
Okay.
And if it's okay, so I'll share with you, hopefully for everybody's benefit, if you all look at my LinkedIn page.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this framework, it's something that I came across and I love it. And I think it communicates well. So simply, what do we do, who we work with, what we offer, how it works, how we add value.
Okay.
Feel free to steal this framework and build it out for your business, but it's it's something that I've shared with a lot of folks over the years now that I think simplifies like, oh, what do I put in that about piece? But
Okay.
that about section, like between your headline and then your about, I should be about 80% confident that I should have a conversation with Valencia. Like
Right.
that's how powerful those two pieces
Okay.
can be.
Yeah, this is good. This is going to be real good for me because I set this up long time ago and I know it could be more, but I didn't know how to do the more. So that's why you see it fragmented. This is all I knew how to do. So yeah, Jarvis, thank you for that. I will definitely look at yours. Yeah, keep whatever you all need to do, tear it up.
I think the other thing that I would say is in terms of the experience part with your page, this is something you don't necessarily have to jump on today, but kind of what we were talking about with someone else's question is going and creating a business page for your academy. And that way people can go and click there. So essentially that little placeholder box is there because it has no business page to be able to connect to show like whatever your logo is. And it just helps make the page a little bit more clean when they can go and look at the actual business page. So I would suggest doing that at some point as well, just to create, again, a flow between, yes, thank you, a flow between your profile and how they can go see more about the business.
Okay.
So that's one piece. And then we already talked about creating, what type of content that you would create. So for you being in the educational space, just thinking about what are those things that individuals need to know about your work and then posting that there. And so another part of what you can do, can you go to
posting that where? Can you point to it?
Yes. So if you scroll up or go to home, perhaps.
Oh, well, I was going to say you could find it under all of your activity, which it just looks like you're not super active on the site. So,
oh, I'm not. I'm definitely not. No.
So I would encourage, Valencia, maybe just come up with one post a week, just to start, right?
I will.
And it can be, Kirstyn said it perfectly, right? Try to figure out a nice mix of personal things and professional things.
Okay.
And theme it out, hey, it looks like you're a math consultant and a math expert. So maybe have 2 posts that, if you create it for a month, I'm going to do 2 posts on math topics or things professional and 2 posts on personal. Maybe you help the child pass their latest test or whatever, right?
Right.
So success stories, wins, but at least try to shoot for 1 a week just to get a rhythm.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Sounds good.
Yep. And then what I was going to say really quickly, Jarvis, if you could jump over to your page, because it will have to be on yours in order to show this. Now, go to one of your posts real quick. What you can also do is feature, so he already has some here, is feature posts on your page. So as you are creating that content, that's really good. And the main things that you want people to see when they come to your page, also think about featuring them at the top, because it just creates a little bit more real estate, a little bit more, direction in terms of what pieces of content you want people to consume. And it's really simple to do that. So like under the activity, for example, you would just click on the post there, and then it gives you the option to be able to feature it on your profile. And you can update those as you see fit to be able to give people, again, the direction of content that you want them to see, because activity covers everything. So it's on post right now, but as you can see on yours, it comments, all the things. And so if you want people to actually be able to know something related to what you do, the featured is going to be the best way to control that.
Where would you put testimonies?
So your testimonials, you can do posts on that, but you can also do recommendations just like on LinkedIn, and to request for people to do recommendations for you and give them, some outlines of what you want them to cover in the recommendation.
Well, I already have testimonials. Should I copy those over here?
You won't be able to do it that way. It has to come from the person. Okay. So if you have testimonials that you want to feature, I would do them in a post and then I would feature them on your profile. But also, if those people are connected with you on LinkedIn, ask them to go and do a recommendation for you, because people do read these and they do connect and be like, oh, I saw this thing and this is why I reached out to you. And so building up your recommendations is going to be good. But yes, it does have to come directly from the individual.
Okay,
Right. Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome. This is great.
And guys, I
And if we
know,
wanted more from you and your services, you have a link that we can get on your Calendly and do like an onboarding.
Yes, so I will drop my link here, and I know Jarvis, you have a link as well. If you would like to connect further, I know we're coming up on the hour, so I want to make sure that everyone has a chance to grab that. But for attending today and being such an amazing audience, I do have a free 15-minute audit call that I will
Good,
pass and put into the section.
great.
and just I'm perusing through the chats. I know we're almost at time, everyone. So a couple of quick questions, and please let us know if we missed anything. Tracy, how long should you update your featured section? I would say for me, anytime I think I do something unique worth featuring, right? I try to post it in the feature section. And look at your LinkedIn page just like a landing page, right? That's kind of the strategy I've always tried to build it. So when I've posted some past videos about my business and so forth, that's when I'll kind of highlight it here. But then you can also, within your activity, if there's something very specific you want to highlight over the other thing, you can just kind of do one of your edits and say, you know what, I dropped a couple of LinkedIn live events, and you can promote those versus just your posts. So that'll be the first thing that people see. So you can kind of toggle back and forth on those. Takira is asking if there are different types of subscriptions in LinkedIn. Of course there are. LinkedIn is a business just like everybody. The majority of people, I think, get the free account on LinkedIn. I do have the Sales Navigator premium version. There's like a regular premium, and then there's Sales Navigator. I would say if you guys are just building your strategies for LinkedIn, start with the free, of course, and just work out all the bugs of your process, of your LinkedIn funnel, quote unquote. You know, have some standard messages that you can send to people, have really good clarity around your search criteria for the types of businesses or people that you want to connect with. And then when you're ready, when you figure out how to start monetizing LinkedIn or even Alignable, then go ahead and purchase the premium versions. I love Sales Navigator, but it is LinkedIn on steroids, right? It just got 10 times more complicated, but the power of Sales Navigator, it's a money bank. So those are just some of the questions. I hope I didn't overlook too much, but guys, we are right there at time, and I want to respect your day. Please give us feedback on this. If there is value here and you all think that we can go deeper with an in-person longer session, please give us the feedback, let us know. But Melvin, let me stop there. I'd love to turn it back over to you, sir. And thank you everybody for being a part of this. Kirstyn, thank you so much for your expertise and your leadership today. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. You as well.
Yeah, great job, Miss Allen. You represented the ABC very, very well. I want to say a huge shout out to everybody who showed up for this session. It's always cool to see like 100 people show up for a webinar. That lets us know that, yeah, we can still get down when we bring it. So I really appreciate all of you. I saw one question about the recording. So our process is, we post this to our Facebook page where you can go and look at it over and over again if you want to. Give us a couple of days. It will be available there. And thank you so much for coming through, and check us out. We'll be back soon. That's all I got, Jarvis. We're good.
All right, perfect. Melvin, for a minute there, I was hoping we were going to start competing with the numbers that you draw for Tuesday talks with the amount of leaders online with us.
Oh man, hey, this was strong. I'll just say like this was strong. Not quite Tuesday talks for all the folks who know all about that, but this was indeed strong, brother, which means we've got to think about what is part two. Because I'm sure there's more to empower our community with when it comes to leveraging these platforms for their success as entrepreneurs. So let's keep that in mind. Also, if those of you remember a few weeks ago, we had Isaac Hayes III on Tuesday Talks, and we've got to increase or find ways to have Black ownership in this space. We don't own these platforms. And so when we have a Black option, at a minimum, we've got to support it. So he owns Fan Base, and I think you all should check it out. Some of you are much more savvy than I am with this. At least look up Fan Base, see what he's doing, see how it could possibly be another resource for us. Does it add value somewhere in your process? But we are always seeking and looking for Black ownership. So I'll leave you with that, and thank you.
All right, everybody, have an amazing end of week, and please stay connected with the ABC. Please stay connected with our training and professional development events. And thank you so much for your time and focus today.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you. This is really helpful. You guys have a
Yeah.
great day.
Yeah. So somebody asked, I don't know if Janet, are you still there? No, Tuesday Talks are wide open, sis, and we'd love to have you check out a Tuesday Talk. She's not familiar with Tuesday Talks, everybody. So that's exciting because the first time she comes in, I'm going to blow her away. So let's would you please take my number, Jen? I'm going to put it in the chat for you. I'm going to put it in the chat for you, Janet, and text me, and let's make sure that we get you plugged in now. So that's my number, 678-548-5242. Send me a text message, and I'll make sure you find out all about that and much more. Hopefully I didn't miss anything else in the chat.
I think so.
But thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Robert H. Johnson Jr., let's connect soon, brother.
Yes, sir. I'm texting you right now, hopefully today.
Got it, no doubt. Shout out to the Training and Professional Development Committee. They're doing a great job giving us what we need.
And Ms. Valencia, I'm sending you a LinkedIn connection. I want to see those updates. Let us know how it goes.
Yes. Excited for you.
Thank you. Jarvis, what's your last name?
Great.
Yeah,
Okay, Jarvis, great. I'm gonna go look you up.
Is Ms. Hollis Skedaddle still in the meeting?
At some, that death benefit's gonna start skyrocketing up higher than.
All right. Take care, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end the call for us.
No outro. Melvin.
But
Thank you.
the music play us out.
No, actually, I didn't have it teed up, brother. Right.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you,
all.
Miss Allen.
No, thank you, Valencia. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.